So we're here with a face that's very familiar to everyone from last season. Liam Pestle, great news a couple of weeks ago about you coming back for the season. How are you feeling and what's your feeling towards the things that are happening in the club at the moment?
Yeah, very positive. Very excited for the new season. I can't wait to get stuck in, to be honest with you, which normally you sort of have on a longer break, but actually with everything that I'm hearing around the club, speaking to management, coaching staff, everybody involved, really, it's beginning to look very positive for next season. So yeah, cannot wait to get back at it.
So just on that point then, I mean, we had some really good phases of the season last year if you kind of split it into different parts of the season.
Yeah.
Obviously we got hampered with injuries and things towards the sort of the tail end of the season.
Yeah.
What's your ambitions for this season for the boys and leading the changing room?
Well, I mean, I've always been somebody that tries to go on the progression route. We've got to progress. We progressed massively, I think, last year compared to where the club was the season before.
Yeah.
I think it come down to the last game of the season and scraped through from being relegated. So to finish mid-table this year, and actually the way we played football for most of the season last season, we probably underachieved a little bit, if we're honest. But that was probably down to a couple of things, injury being one of them. We had some huge losses, especially towards the back end part of the season. And also, we're a very young side, so we were a little bit naive at times, which is nobody's fault. It's a learning curve for everybody. But hopefully we learn from those little blips that we had last season and we can take it on into the new season.
Yeah, and you've been down at the club this morning in your skipper role. You've been meeting a few new faces and knowing some of the boys are retained. I mean, for the supporters, it's shaping up to look like a very competitive squad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I was a supporter, if I knew at the moment what I do know and who we've got through the door, I'd be very happy, very positive. The boys that have come through the door, they're class acts, I haven't been around the league a long time, but the little time I've been around it, I've seen a few of these players on a handful of occasions and they just possess quality. They've been in teams that have possessed a lot of quality, and so they've got the experience. They're the right sort of age to come in and do a proper job and lead as well from different positions on the pitch. So yeah, walking through and seeing the boys here today on the pitch, having their photos taken and whatnot, fantastic. Again, that's one of the main reasons I'm very excited to get back and get back on it.
Yeah, and some good retention as well by the management team. Obviously retaining yourself, Matty Sermon, Fareed, and obviously there'll be more announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks. Important to keep some of those boys from last season involved as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I say, the main thing is we wanted to keep the nucleus from last season in the team, because as a spine we had a very strong team. Matty Sermon for me grew as the season went on. We were hampered with injuries. A lot of it, again, wasn't really our fault. It wasn't other clubs' fault, but we had a lot of postponement games, which meant we were having to cram a lot of games in at the end of the season, like a few other teams were. And Matty Sermon, for me, he was there every week. Same position, same role, doing his job, and he actually grew every week. And become an even bigger character for me. So yeah, Matty being retained is huge for me. He's a leader by example, and so yeah, very excited regarding that. Fareed is a fantastic young talent, no doubt about it. Fareed can play in numerous positions, some of which he won't agree with, but personally, I think he's a fantastic little player. Tenacious when he wants to be, which is fantastic, and I'm sure that he's going to build on that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And prediction, who's going to win the Euros?
Oh, it's tough. That's a tough one. Going on last night's performance against Iceland, I'm really not sure. No, do you know what? All they can do is go out and do what they can do. No doubt that when Jude Bellingham walks back through the door, the boys are going to get a huge lift. And he'll start leading from the midfield, which is where I think we're lacking a little bit. But people have been going on about our defence struggling. I thought defensively last night, I thought we looked good. I liked the defence last night. So I'm going to stick with. I'm going to go England.
You're going to go England.
I'm going to go England, but it's a tough tournament. But I'd say look out for the Dutch.
Look out for the Dutch. Fair enough. And then hopefully you're going to rally the boys, get a few of them down here to watch some of the games. We're showing every game, England game for the qualifying or the group stages. So hopefully we can get a few boys down here and just continue to feel part of the club.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's actually one of our strongest attributes as a team, led on by the club. We do stick together. We do enjoy each other's company. We love the morale side of it. And last season we actually made every effort to be with each other after games. You know, people weren't just going home. People were hanging around together, discussing the game, discussing what they're doing later that night, or discussing where we're going to go tonight. So no, I would say, yeah, definitely we're going to have a good influx of players coming in to watch a lot of the games at the club. So if people want to come down and enjoy it with us, then go for it. You know, more the merrier.
Superb. Great, Liam. We'll have a great pre-season and we'll speak to you as the season progresses.
No problem at all.